can't deny. Big men, big moves, earth shaking grow. Why sumo? Tell me why you're doing sumo. Is it power?
Hello, 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 and welcome to Why Sumo. One of the best things about sumo is that we have people from all around the world that we meet, and they will slowly become some of our best friends that we look forward to every worlds to see. And today we are meeting together, Filipo. Hello,
Kia
hello.
ora, talofa. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Can you introduce yourself to the people?
Kia ora, talofa. My name is Filipo, 36 years old from Palmerston North, New Zealand.
Nice. Um, $1 million question. How did you find sumo?
Really randomly, we had back at high school about 20 years ago, we had an exchange student who was a high school champion in his prefecture back in Japan. And as for rugby training, he asked one of our teachers, like, we should do a sumo competition. So we ended up having a sumo competition back in 2005, and I ended up winning it. Like it was me versus another one of my mates, who both of us were the if you're aware of rugby, the front row, the props.
Right.
Pretty much, think your linesman. It was pretty much me versus the other dude, and he went undefeated. And then pretty much it was a final between us two, and then I managed to beat him. So that was my first introduction into sumo, and I've been gloating about it to everyone ever since. It's like, yeah, I won a high school comp, so.
Heck yeah. Not well. I have to say, not many people have that on their resume. When I saw you had that, I was like, oh, I wonder what the story there was. That's fascinating. What prefecture was he from? Do you know?
I actually forgot to ask him, to be honest, but it wasn't. I think it was somewhere just outside of Kyoto.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. The Did you practice sumo with him a little bit?
More a little bit, but it was pretty much just to like get a lower stance. Obviously, like that stance, when it comes to touchy eye, it helps out with rugby, like when we engage in the scrum. So it kind of helped us out a bit for rugby. So yeah, like we did a little bit beforehand, but yeah, that's pretty much it, really. So
Nice. So,
yeah.
so you're a rugby guy. Is there any other similarities that you see between rugby and sumo?
Pretty much just like the power, obviously, like driving with the legs, like especially when you're either trying to tackle somebody or get tackled, you're pretty much just trying to drive them to the ground. So obviously that drive bit, and yeah, pretty much the strength. That's pretty much like the similarities I see between rugby and sumo.
There's a point in rugby, right? You don't want the person to get anywhere near the ball. You're kind of blocking, and so you're manipulating another body from doing what they want to do. Do you think that that carried over into sumo also for you?
Um, Teeny, like probably in a low key way, yes. Like obviously, like when you get tackled, you're trying to turn around so you can hand the ball off to someone. So maybe like the twisting motion. Just so, like, if someone's trying to come running up straight to me, they can actually get the ball out of my hands. So if I'm trying to twist around while they're trying to tackle, maybe a little bit of an aspect that helps with sumo, maybe.
Nice. I I'm a fan of rugby. I for a moment got pulled into working with the San Diego rugby team called Legion, and I
Oh,
was
yes, yes,
their
yes.
grappling coach for that. So that was a really fun, like weird check in my resume. I'm
Hmm.
not the biggest rugby person, but I was like, oh, this is cool, and they have so many different body types. I was like, oh, there's
Yes,
the long, tall guys that just kind of get pulled up to try to catch the ball. There's the
yes,
small guys
yes.
that are super fast. There's the giant, giant guys like you that are just straight up enforcing rule. And I was like, man, this is super fascinating. So one time we had them do sumo, but the problem is they had no chill. And I think that I've had rugby friends and they're always so extreme. What is it about rugby that brings that like wild animal out of people?
Um, it's kind of a funny question because I kind of think It's a mixture of, I don't know, maybe like, especially for like me being a Pacific Islander, it's kind of like, someone say like, try and go 50%. Where like in training, when I was training with my teammates yesterday, it was like we tried 50%, but it goes straight to 100% because we just can't help but, ourselves, It's like
Yeah.
maybe my 20% is like someone else's 70. It's like, no, we're just gonna go full steam ahead, you know. I think there's just like a natural like thing wired into our brains. It's like we we try to chill but we can't. It's just like a
I,
natural thing. We just like go, nah, we're just going full 100. It's either 100 or nothing at all.
I, I feel you. I mean, you know, I'm in San Diego, and there's we're surrounded by a lot of different people, and there's a lot of Samoans around, and they don't play. They don't play. They go full
Yeah,
throttle no matter what. You can't be like, "Oh, I'm gonna horse around." It's like, nah, they'll push you through a door. Like, you don't start it. Don't start it.
it's
Um,
happened with me and my
do you
cousins
think
before too. At some point,
is there something just amazing about Islanders? Like you have Konishiki, who was a monster in the
yes.
dojo. Is there any other like Islander sumo wrestler that you're really vibing on from the past?
Um, Definitely Masashi Maru because like obviously being like a person of Samoan heritage, any Pacific Islander takes pride in any Pacific Islander that's like famous or has done like definitely like Masashi Maru and sumo. Outside of sumo, many All Blacks, many NFL players, even like Roman Reigns and Dwayne Johnson. So any Islander that becomes famous, we take sense of pride because especially for us, man, there's only like probably like 2 or 3 million Pacific Islanders worldwide. So we're only like that
Mm,
little percentage. So anytime that you see someone like even if they're not from like our like our culture or something, we still take pride in that. So definitely
heck
with
yeah.
like the sumo wrestling like Konoshiki, Akebono, Masashi Maru, I take pride in that because it's like, well, you know, there's some of our brothers that, our distant cousins that got up to that high position in sumo. It's like, well, that kind of gives us hope that maybe we could actually do it too.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Sumo is a international sport now, and you're going to represent at Worlds. How do you feel being able to represent at Worlds? What does that mean to you?
It's a very unique feeling because like getting into the whole sumo bit, yeah, I'm in that bit where I just want to compete. Like it's only just hitting me now that I'm actually representing New Zealand next, like yeah, pretty much next weekend. So
Yeah.
yeah, it hasn't really sunk in just yet that I'm actually going to go to like a real competition, but maybe like on the day it'll sink in. But it's how to put it. It's like Loki inspired other people like this journey going on. It's like just going like starting back into sumo last year, and all of a sudden here's like me going to Worlds, and everyone's just like, "Geez, man, you put a lot of work into that." So it's just buzzy because all I just see is like me just getting my head down, wanting to knuckle in, go 100%
Yeah.
into matches, but yeah, don't realize like the trail that you left behind. Like everyone's just inspired by the trail, and they're like, "Man, maybe I might give this a go too if he's doing it." So.
So your journey has been extremely inspiring. I am a fan of people putting in maximum effort. I've like built a whole brand on maximum effort, but I can see you putting in work, and it's all solid work. You're pushing sleds. You're doing everything. Is there anything that you've been adding in that you're super excited about to see how that shows up on the world stage?
Definitely the workouts that I've been doing, I have been mixing it up with like sumo moves as well. Like I tried some against my teammates yesterday, which they'll probably put up a video. And yeah, it's kind of weird because like my workouts was just me trying to push myself to see how far I can go, like with the weights, not necessarily sumo, but now trying to translate those workouts into here. I'm kind of excited to see how it goes up against some of the world's best now. So
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. And you're competing in the heavyweight division?
yes.
Nice. Are you also in the team tournament?
We are, but I think there's only two of us in our team because we were supposed to have four, but due to financial difficulties, my teammates from the Waikato club up in Hamilton, Dwight and Jorge, weren't able to make it. So it'll just be me and Joel Kindred representing New Zealand.
I highly recommend still doing the team tournament, even if it's just you two, just because it
Hmm.
gives you additional opportunities to get on the clay. The first
Yes,
round
yes,
is going to
yes.
be on the
Yeah,
Saturday, and
yeah.
then the your division will be on Sunday. So it's good just to kind of feel the clay underneath you.
Yes, yes.
Every doyo is different, and I've already been kind of explaining to some of our people that are competing that like Thailand is we're going during wet season, so it's
Hmm.
possible that the clay might be a little extra sticky, and if it's extra sticky, they have the tendency to put on more sand. So then it's all about taking your time, digging yourself into through the sand into the clay so that when you push off on that tachi, you don't slip.
Yep.
That's just a big thing that, like, if you can get on and test it, I would highly recommend doing.
Ah, that's good. That was actually what Joel suggested me to do because obviously I've just been practicing either on the concrete or the mud because it's like Loki, it's winter time over here and it has been raining a lot. So that's the only opportunity I get to train. So he's just like, we'll do teams. Even if we end up failing, you still get, some sort of experience on the clay itself, which is definitely what I need. So,
Right. So you're going to Thailand and you have like your game plan. I don't want you to give your game plan, but I do want to know what's your favorite kimarte, your winning technique.
it's usually me trying to throw a person out. I
Okay.
think that's how I've like mostly won. Like, if it's not that, obviously, like driving forward, like how I'm driving in a scrum, but I think most of the time my winning technique was just like a throw or something. But I don't know, either throwing or just like straight up pushing someone out just seems to work for me. So,
I mean, it works for the pros. It's I think last time I looked, it was about 90% of the winning techniques was Oshidashi Yotakiri. So
yes,
like that's if it works for them, it works for everyone.
yeah,
And
yeah.
speaking of the pros, is there a current pro that you like their style that you think that they're cool, like your current favorite pro?
Oddly enough, is actually too because I do like the throws that Hoshoryu does, but I also like the power that Onosato has.
Right. Yeah. They're like
Yeah,
almost complete opposites. Their style
yeah.
is completely different. Hoshoyoru is very much like Uwatanage, Skinage, so he grabs the belt, tries to
Mm,
throw. And
yeah,
Onosato is a pusher thruster, and he
yes,
tracks so well. Which, if I had to guess, your style would be a little bit more Onosato. But
pretty much. I think so. Yeah,
we always want to be the thing that we're not too, where we're
yeah, yeah.
like I want to be Onosato, but I'm never going to be anywhere near Onosato's size or
Mm,
like his dynamic pushing. But in
yeah.
my heart of hearts, I can see myself doing that.
Yeah, I'm trying my like hardest to try and get to that, but I'm like I'll mix it up just so I'm not like a one trick pony because everyone will expect he's going to try and push me out, so I'll have to work on some other technique to try and counter it if that makes sense.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Out of all of the tournaments that you've done so far, is there one that like one match in particular where you had the time of your life? Maybe you were in a flow state or anything along those lines. And if it's not sumo related, it might rugby also feels good.
Kind of hard with the flow state. Like I've had a couple
Or
of
like,
matches. Yeah, I'm trying to think. In the flow state, maybe against one of the Australian competitors, Heath. Like I've always had his number, but our matches have been good, especially like the last one where we pretty much fought for gold at Oceania, where everyone was pretty much complimenting on our balance. Because I think the year prior, last year's tournament, it was pretty much just a strength battle. Where this year we were pretty much on the edge of the doyo. and both of us were balancing, trying to chuck the other person out. But I managed to just, with my power, just get him out. Just I was literally on my tiptoes. I think that was probably like one of my favorite like flow moments or something.
Yeah.
It's the only
Yeah.
thing I can think of. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
I wanted to circle back to the development of sumo in your area, in your country. Are you guys how is the growth in your country looking in sumo?
It's pretty. It was at a bit like growing until COVID hit. Then it seems like a lot of the clubs shut down. And yet, when I found this club, which is like a 6 hour drive away from me, they're still trying to keep it alive. And yeah, it's slowly starting to build back up a little bit. Like after the recent tournaments that we've attended, there's a bit more interest now. So
Nice.
it's partially the reason why I try to go hard, just to inspire some other people to try and take it up. You know, so even like if I, like they see like me coming from New Zealand or like even from my hometown, and they're like, I might take this up next year. If he can do it, I can do it. So trying to grow that a bit more, more tournaments are going in. Hopefully, we have more of a bigger squad that attends Worlds or even like the various tournaments, like invitational ones like USA Open or even some in Europe. So
Yeah, there's a lot of different tournaments throughout the year that we like as a amateur sumo community that we can go to, and I
mm,
think that like Swiss Open is one, the Scottish
yeah,
Open is another one. There's a lot that we should try to travel to, especially to get that international competition.
yeah,
Just to see what they're doing, because everybody's gonna have a different thing. Like the
yes,
Ukrainians are doing like fancy wrestling that you're like you gotta kind of put hands on them to kind of understand.
yeah.
When the Russians come back in, they're doing their own thing. Japanese are doing like straight hard tachiai and going from there, especially in heavyweight, right? So
Mm.
it's good to have like an idea and a concept of how everybody's moving. But let me
Yes.
tell you something, there ain't nothing better than an islander running into someone for spectators. All right, we had one that competed for a while. Now he's doing power slap. His name was Maki. He
Oh yes, I've seen him. Yes, yes.
fireworks. Every match is fireworks. He walks
Yes.
in, he's like, "Let's go. Let's put this show on." He
Mm.
crashes out there. He'll do a little bit of slap this, and I was like, "Oh, this power slap made sense for you."
I've seen
Like,
the slap versus Hayden, and I thought, geez, man, Hayden's probably going to expect that from me now if Mucky's doing that.
but it is absolute fireworks. There's also a few tournaments in Japan, which you might wanna pop over to the amateur tournaments in Japan. I feel like it would be a fun experience. Obviously, Joel would be able to connect you with a Heya so you can go and train a little bit and then
Mm.
do those. It's going to be phenomenal. I have a question about um, uh, barriers of entry into sumo. Do you think that there's any barriers of entry into sumo? Maybe it could be a cultural aspect or maybe a perceived like, oh, sumo's only for big guys or something like that. I don't know if that's an issue that you guys would have, but anything that comes to your mind.
Obviously, well, the barrier of professional sumo, I know, obviously, no tattoos allowed, and obviously, like tattoo is obviously a big thing in our like Islander culture
Right.
because it's like a lot of tradition and all that. In terms of like amateur sumo, I think obviously the barrier is most people think it's just big people that compete. Where I've been explaining to one is, weight classes, so you can be taking on someone your own size, or if you're up for the challenge, go in open weight. And even there's women's sumo now. So I've been trying to like explain to those guys it's not just all about us big guy versus big guy, strength to power, blah blah blah. Just watch these video clips from like recent worlds and like open tournaments, man, and you'll get a gauge. It's pretty much for everyone, and it's pretty
Right.
much like I think as Sigmund or Joel said, pretty much think of like how you're playing back at like primary with your mates where you're trying to push someone over in the mud or something like that. It's pretty much that.
That is it, right? It's playing within a rule set, and I honestly think that it's a nice Venn diagram of where like wrestling meets football, rugby, those like pushing aggressive sports, and like everything kind of and horsing around, just goofing
Yes,
off,
horsing around.
right?
Yes, yes,
Like it's
yeah.
it's super fun. You can get tired, but if you're just like doing a couple matches, you don't get that tired. It's just like, all right, cool. Let me take a little break and I'll come back. And I think that
Yeah.
that makes it very accessible, especially for like older athletes. So people that have maybe they had a full career doing something else, and they're like in their early 30s, late 30s, somewhere along those lines. Like I want to do something and be competitive.
Yes.
Sumo is still there for you. I think that especially in heavyweight, like that power don't go away. That power
Nah,
stays
definitely not.
forever.
Yeah. I haven't had a rugby game in over 10 years, and yeah, my power's still kind of there. So
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
yeah.
All right. So this is the part where I'm going to give you a one shot. You're going to let people know how to find you, pitch whatever you would like to pitch, and leave us with one quote, something meaningful, or it doesn't need to be meaningful. It can be whatever you want.
Cool. If anyone's interested in getting into sumo, either contact myself or my trainer. His name's Dwight Rawson, who runs the Waikato Sumo Club in Hamilton. And yeah, 685, baby. That's it.
Why sumo? Tell me why you're doing sumo. Is it power, pride, or show? Why sumo? Every push, every throw. Man, you're stealing the show.